Hey everybody, welcome to day 92. We are reading in Luke chapter 9 today, verses 1 through 36. And we see several repeat stories here in this chapter. We see that Jesus is calling the disciples together and sending them out. So he's starting to delegate some of his work that he's doing. And we know that not only is he gathering them to send them out, he is equipping them. And it's just a great reminder that what God calls us to, he will equip us to do. So if you have something that God is weighing on your heart that you need to do, then just remember and have faith and trust that God will provide for that. Kind of in the same way where we see a little later in this passage, the same idea that as the disciples go into towns, they're not to take anything with them, extra change of clothes or anything like that. They're not packing any bags to go. And it's that same idea that Jesus, putting your trust in Jesus, that he would provide everything that you would need as long as you are, doing his work and what he called you to do. So then the disciples come back and we see the word apostles being used, which is just a little slightly different. Disciples has more to do with people that are following Jesus and listening to his teaching, whereas apostles have a little more authority to do his work. And then we see the story come up again of Jesus feeding the 5,000, and this idea of the disciples thinking this is too big of a job and we should send the multitude away, and Jesus saying, no, watch this. And I think it goes along in that same line that as we are called to do things that are big and called to do big things, then we have that same thought as the disciples did, which was not to send a multitude away per se, but to not participate or not do what God called us to do because it's too big of a task to undertake. And so we have to remember that trust that we developed, that faith that we developed day after day, that we have to use that and apply that so that we can follow through with the task that God has for us, and have that trust that he will do what he says he will do and he will provide a way for us. So then we get into the people in this time trying to figure out who Jesus is. So Herod is surprised by this because he has been around a while, but he is the one that beheaded John the Baptist. So he's trying to figure out who this Jesus guy is and trying to get a closer look to see probably if he's a threat to him politically. And then we also have in this passage that Jesus is approaching his disciples, and he actually asks Peter, who do they say I am? And Peter says, well, some people say you're John the Baptist or Elijah. And Jesus specifically asks Peter, who do you say I am? And Peter responds with that he is the Christ or the Messiah. And so he actually admits and declares him to be the Messiah. And one thing that really stood out to me here was that whether we're going to church or not, whether we believe the words of the Bible, that God does not go based on what everybody else says. He wants to have that personal relationship with you. And so he's going to ask you personally, who do you say that I am? And we have to understand that having that relationship with Jesus calls us to have an answer for that. And who do we say that he is? Do we say that he is the Messiah, the Son of God, the Christ? Do we believe that he died and resurrected? Or are we just following the group and other people are saying that, so we're going with that too? Or other people say this, so that's what I'm going to believe too. This is why it's so important for us to be reading scripture together so that we can establish a personal relationship with Jesus, and that we can read with our own eyes or listen with our own ears to what Jesus has for us, and that we have that personal relationship with him, and it's not based on anybody else's opinion, state of, what they feel like their state of their relationship with Jesus. It is all about that intimate relationship we have between ourselves and Jesus. So hope that encourages you today to continue to read scripture so that you can build that personal relationship with Jesus day in and day out. Hope you have a good day. Bye.